Okay, so in science class, you're taught the Bohr model of the atom. Okay? It's a simple model. You have the nucleus, and then around the nucleus, you have these electrons that orbit the nucleus. Okay? You're taught this in physics class. If you are in more advanced physics, you were taught that it's actually an electron cloud. Why? Because we never know for sure where electrons are. So we can only know the probability of where they are in orbit, okay? So it's called an electron cloud. And this is what you're taught in school. When you go to university, you'll be taught this is completely and utterly wrong. Why? Because this assumes that these atoms are matter, they're solid. But in reality, if you go deep enough, you will find that they are actually just vibrations, what we call quantum fields. And they are just vibrations. And what the electron really is an intersection of these quantum fields. Also, these quantum fields can always exist in two states. The first is as a wave, the second is as a particle. Okay? And we can only know if it's a wave or a particle by observing it. And this is what's called the wave function collapse. In other words, all of nature is vibrational. It's energy. And it's only when we observe it, when we interact with it, that becomes something solid that we can see and measure. This is complicated. So a physicist named Ernst Schrödinger, he creates a thought experiment called Schrödinger's cat. And so imagine a box, and inside is a cat. And in the cat, inside the box is also some toxic chemicals that may or may not break. If it breaks, the cat dies. If it doesn't break, the cat's still alive. And what Schrödinger teaches us is that when the box is unopened, we can never know the state of the cat. It's only when we open it can we know it's dead or alive. But before then, it's both dead and alive. Okay? That's simple to understand. But then another physicist introduced a new concept called the friend experiment, or Wigner's friend. And this is more complicated because he says, okay, if you are the experimenter and you open a box, you now know the state of the cat. But what if you're a friend? Okay? You don't see. When the experimenter opens the box, does the wave function collapse? And the answer is, it does not. Okay? It does not. And what this is telling us is there is no objective reality that exists outside of you. When the experimenter opens the box, the wave function collapses for him, but does not collapse for the observer or for anyone else. We have to open the box ourselves in order to see if the cat is alive or dead. Okay? But what if this person tells us? The answer is, it still doesn't collapse. We have to participate in the reality ourselves. And what this is saying, okay, this is hard to understand, is that everyone lives in his or her own reality. Everyone has a unique universe onto himself or herself.